Hi, Dr. Rochelle here today, coming from my deck on a beautiful July afternoon, sharing with you some of my favorite things to talk about these days, and it's on the topic of mindfulness. Did you know that we have somewhere between 50 and 70,000 thoughts a day? Wow, that's a lot of mental chatter, isn't it? And just think about this morning when you got up and maybe one of your first activities was brushing your teeth. Just that simple act of brushing your teeth, during the span of maybe 1 to 3 minutes, however long it takes you to do that, I wonder how many thoughts have crossed through your mind. I mean, it could be simple thoughts like, I would say rarely are we thinking about the actual act of brushing our teeth, but instead what we're thinking about are, I wonder what I should wear today. And then, I need to get a birthday card for so-and-so. And then I think about something that upset me yesterday and, what's on my to-do list. And before you know it, within the span of 3 minutes, your mind has gone to maybe 10 to 20 different subjects. And that's how our brains work all day long, especially during the performance of very rote tasks that don't really require focused attention. So what is really important is to recognize that there's an opportunity in the ordinary moments of life where we tend to just get caught up in our brain and all that internal chatter going on, that those kinds of thoughts tend to take us sometimes into some pretty uncomfortable places. We might start feeling anxious about things or getting discouraged or down or mad. And before you know it, you're driving home and you don't even remember how you got there, but your mind has maybe traveled 100 different places, or maybe it camped on something that was really upsetting to you, and you walk in the door and you're all riled up. So what I want to offer to you is a very simple opportunity, I guess, to be able to create some space or peace in your brain. And it is through the act of mindfulness. Now, mindfulness is kind of a popular buzzword these days, and you're probably seeing it all over the place, hearing about it. But mindfulness is really simple. It's just paying attention to what is right in front of your face. And rather than you're retreating into the space between your ears and your mind bouncing into all these different places, you decide to literally get into the moment you're in. And this is a simple way to do it, is just to really just use your senses to lead you into the moment. So for example, just look at what's around you. Like right now on my deck, I'm noticing the green of the trees. And when I first got out here, it was overcast, and now the sun's out, and I'm feeling the sun on my face and feeling kind of warm and just soaking in that feeling. And I'm just noticing the sounds right now. I hear a lawnmower and I hear birds singing, and the smell of cut grass and the taste of mint in my mouth. Mindfulness is literally just taking out a few moments at a time to just become aware of what is in the immediate here and now. And it can be as simple as just tuning into your breath, listening, hearing, feeling your breath, and just slowing down the breathing process. Counting your breaths is a way to slow the process down, and just pay attention to your breathing. That is a real simple tool to help you to become more mindful. So what is important about mindfulness is not that it's just a great idea or buzzword, but there's a ton of science now that is reporting the positive impact mindfulness can have on the brain. And I just want to share a few of the things that I've been learning about the positive changes that occur in our brain as we practice mindfulness. And it's not like you have to take out an hour of every day and do that, although some people do. And the more time you spend in it, the more effects. But if you're new to this idea, and I'm newer, so it may be just a minute or two at a time where you just stop. And so let's just begin, first of all, with brushing your teeth. What if you could take that 2 to 3 minutes and just concentrate on the feeling of the brush and the taste in your mouth, and how it feels to use that toothbrush, and the noise or the sounds you're hearing, and watching your face and your mouth and the ability to move. That is being mindfully present in an activity. Now, why is this important? Well, research is showing some of the positive effects on the brain, and I'm just going to share some of these with you because again, just to point out, this isn't just like, a fad, but it is literally producing changes that will improve your mental and physical well-being. For example, in one part of your brain, which is called the anterior cingulate cortex, this is the part of the brain that allows you to focus. When you practice mindfulness, you are actually improving that part of the brain that enables you to stay focused on tasks that need to be done. So things like work or important conversations, to be able to pay attention, you are able to impact that part of your brain with mindfulness. Another area is it increases the density of the gray matter in the prefrontal cortex. So what does that help you with? It helps improve your decision-making ability, your ability to plan and to solve problems and control your emotions. See, when we get stressed, it's usually all of, competing things going on, not only outside of us, but inside of us. As you practice mindfulness or meditation, what that does is it allows your brain to kind of settle down and exert more control. And not control over others, but just internal control. Another part of the brain that's impacted by mindfulness is called the hippocampus, and that's the part that helps us with our learning and our memory. And it turns out that when we practice present moment awareness, that this part of the brain enables us to remember better because it's decreasing stress. It helps us to learn. Have you ever tried to learn something new when you're feeling frustrated and stressed? Or if someone were scolding you, I don't know if you remember time in school, maybe you felt stressed by a teacher yelling at you. Your brain shuts down when you're stressed. And so the more you can increase peace and relaxation, mindfulness being an avenue for that, you are literally helping your brain to remember and to learn better. And then another area is the part of the brain that's called the amygdala, that this is kind of where the fight and flight response is triggered in that part of the brain when we have an experience that causes a threat to us. And it can create fear and anxiety. Again, we have found that with mindfulness, this part of the brain, the amygdala, will shrink in response to meditation. Now what that means is that part shrinks. That's a good thing because it enables us to lengthen out our ability to concentrate, and it also slows down and gives us more peace and diminishes the destructive effects of really powerful emotion, and it really saps our energy when we get all riled up. So mindfulness, that art of being in the now, learning how to practice that, and I'll be giving you some tips in upcoming videos on how to practice this. I just want you to see that it is worth your time and attention. Last thing I want to talk about is think about the last time maybe you went to an event that you wanted to record on your phone. Maybe it was a camera or video camera or whatever. Maybe it was your child performing in a sporting event or a music concert or a dance recital. And so you're watching that experience through your phone because you're trying to capture it. But have you noticed when you've done that you also feel like you missed it? You were there, you're recording it, but you hadn't something that was putting your focus on capturing it versus just experiencing it. And that's kind of how life is that sometimes we're looking through a lens, but we're not really in the experience. The more we become mindful, the more we can just add peace, joy, calm into the everyday moments, to the ordinary moments. As we do this, we are going to create amazing days. And so this is a follow-up to my Best Day Ever challenge, and I wanted to give you a tool to create the best day ever, another tool, because I'll be offering several, to create it. And it's just as simple as being in the here and now, soaking in the experience of life, noticing how you're feeling inside, and taking care of you. Hope this has been helpful to you today. Have some great mindful moments.